right here is a felt t-shirt. This came out in 2009, just in time for the third felt collaboration to drop. And as always, it was Merce, Slug from Atmosphere, and they always link up with a different producer. So in this one, they linked up with Aesop Rock, and they all made the shirt. The design of this is really cool, definitely one of the coolest shirts I own. And this is available on Hot Topic. It was cool to get some legit underground hip-hop stuff at the mall and not have to, send away for it online or go to a merch table at a show to pick it up. And what's really cool about this shirt, it kind of represents all facets of underground hip-hop. You got Aesop Rock from New York, you got Merce from the West Coast, and you got Slug from Minneapolis. And they came together to make a great album, and they came together to design this really cool t-shirt. So the other thing is this. I've always been a champion of underground backpack hip-hop. I'm not going to get too into that right now, but the fact that these three guys are still basically underground rappers and doing clubs and still trying to amass a following, while Rick Ross, Flo Rida, and Soulja Boy are just household names, proves there's no justice in the world. What we have right here is an Eastern Conference Records winter hat. This is a promo item, I think, with the Highlight Zone album by the High and Mighty that came out in 2003, and I picked it up on Sandbox Automatic, so it's going back to those days. You remember Sandbox? It was a website that if you ordered underground CDs early, they would ship a ton of promo stuff with it, so stickers, posters, t-shirts, hats, and you could really get a bunch of cool stuff, and it was priced affordably. So this came with, I believe, the High and Mighty album. And if you don't know about Eastern Conference Records, started early 2000s, they were part of Raucous, and then High and Mighty kind of left Raucous and did their own thing and started Eastern Conference. And they amassed a pretty cool roster of talent. They put out albums by Cage, Copyright, Tame One, and their compilation albums are great as well. And I loved what they did artistically. From what I understand, their business practices weren't completely up to snuff, and that kind of shattered relationships with a lot of artists. And there's been a bunch of songs going at those guys. And the High and Mighty, you're basically missing in action. Even Wikipedia can't find them after 2005. So Wikipedia can't find you. You're pretty far underground. What I have in this box is one of the coolest underground hip-hop sneakerhead collaborations of all time. Back in the summer of 2008, Adidas linked up with underground MC Aesop Rock and West Coast Boutique Upper Playground to release these campuses. And there's not enough cool things you can say about these sneakers, honestly. They have the Weatherman logo. They say Aesop Rock here. They have on the tongue, they have the rare triple branding where you have the Adidas logo, the Upper Playground Walrus, and the Weatherman logo again. And then the entire inner of the shoe, the inner lining, has the Weatherman logo over and over again. Which you remember, the Weathermen were supposed to be the super group of LP, Cage, Aesop Rock, Breezy Bruin, all those guys. It hasn't come out yet. I hope it still does, because I'd definitely be interested in that. But between the cool green suede upper, which is these are based on the cover art for Aesop Rock's None Shall Pass album in 2007. These came out the next year, and you got the gold accents and then a pretty cool ice sole on the bottom. One of the sickest shoes ever released, and definitely the coolest underground hip hop sneaker collaboration I'm aware of. And they only released 500 pairs of these. I know I have two. I got one that I wear and one that I keep on ice for the future. And I'm assuming Aesop Rock and his boys got a bunch of them. So there's not too many out there floating around. Maybe you can track them down, but good luck. This is an autographed copy of Company Flow's Funk Crusher Plus album that came out in 1997. The original one dropped in 97. This is a reissue that came out in 2009. As anybody who follows underground hip hop knows, the original was released on Raucous. Company Flow had a bunch of business problems with Raucous. Company Flow broke up. LP went on and started Def Jux. And I guess by 2009, Raucous was so hard up for money, they sold LP the rights to this album. He put it out on Def Jux again and sold it online and sold an autographed copy online. So definitely got the autograph with three of my underground heroes on this. And this album is just phenomenal. In some ways, it came out so early. It was kind of a blueprint for the next 10 years of Def Jux music that LP went on to make. And you can really see it all starting here. The dense, claustrophobic beats, the wordplay that's just dizzying. Even though it's 15 years old, it'll still be pressing the rewind button and trying to figure out what they mean in the rhymes, because they're so multi-layered with the metaphors and similes they use. And it's a great album. So you can track this down online or on iTunes. Definitely try to get a listen to it. I have an original pressing of the cassette tape of Dr. Octagon, aka Kool Keith's Dr. Octagon Ecologist album from 1996. And this is significant for a couple reasons. Number one, it's incredibly hard to find now in any kind of physical copy. And it was even hard to find back then, 15 years ago. It came out on an indie label, and it was, Kool Keith of Ultramagnetic MCs kind of changed his whole image and persona and started rapping as this new guy, this new character, Dr. Octagon. And it was so weird and out there at the time, people didn't really get it. And on top of that, because it was on that indie label, it wasn't in chain stores, it was hard to find. If you wanted, you really had to put some legwork in and try to find it, because this pre-downloading on the internet. I tracked it down at a mom and pop record store in Delaware sometime in '97, and it's a great album. The beats are by Dan the Automator, and they're the kind of spaced out, almost trip hop stuff he's become really known for since then. And the rhymes by Kool Keith are so off the wall and so left field. And that's since 1996, a lot of underground rappers have done that and amassed huge followings with it. But think back 15 years ago, it was definitely not being done, and Kool Keith was one of the first guys to do it. So if you look at how influential this album is and how much this kind of set the blueprint for what underground hip hop was and would become in the next 10 to 15 years, I don't know if you could say enough about the impact of the Dr. Octagon record, except that I wish I saw the cassette player to listen to it.